So there's been a lot of discourse lately revolving Daniel Tiger. Some people say he's a narcissist, some people say he's a psychopath, including me, and some people say he's racist. Come on, now what are we doing here? Well, the last one is obviously not true, but I'm sure we have a decent amount of evidence for the first two. Today, we will be figuring out if he's truly evil, or if he's, I don't know, a 4-year-old. And I mean, hey, even if he is evil, this is still a way better show than Caillou. I mean, at least Daniel's parents actually bother to teach him a lesson. Unlike in Caillou, where Caillou can literally pinch his newborn baby sister, and all his dad will say is, Caillou, that wasn't very poggers anyways. Like, this little demon's just allowed to continue being a demon. But more on him in a later video. That video being my upcoming part 2 of Ban's Caillou episodes. Wait, I still have to do that video? Oh, right, I do. I still can't believe that there are enough Ban's Caillou episodes to warrant not 1, but 2 whole videos discussing him. And with all that out of the way, time to look at a possible future and or current psychopath. But before we begin, I would just like to state that I mean no disrespect to Fred Rogers Productions, or any of the crew behind Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Truthfully speaking, this show is meant to teach morals, and they teach these morals pretty well. And of course, this is a show based on the legendary Fred Rogers, who did a lot of great things in the world. So absolutely nothing against them. And without further ado, let's see if Daniel is bad enough for people to be wishing death on him? Like, seriously, what is wrong with you guys? So Daniel Tiger has been receiving a ton of backlashes of late. A lot of this coming from his overreactions.
I'm ready to go to music time. Cha-cha-cha.
Hold on, Daniel. We're not going to Music Bandstand shop right away.
What?
We have a few things to do in the neighborhood first.
No! Grr! Grr!
Dude, you're still going to Music Man Stan's shop afterwards. This is extremely basic to understand. But you gotta get all grrr about it for some reason. He does the same thing when he's told by his mom that they will not be riding trolley to visit Prince Wednesday, but instead they will walk. This causes Daniel to be all dramatic and demand that trolley takes them, as if they don't already ride trolley all the time, and quite frankly, I think trolley deserves a break. He single-handedly takes everyone in the land of make-believe everywhere, like that's gotta cause some major burnout. Which reminds me that no one in the show is a car. Get with the times, y'all. Oh, and when Daniel gets dramatic, he ramps it up to 11, and it'll be over the most non-serious things too, like when Margaret knocked down his toy brick tower fence that probably took him like 10 seconds to make anyway. Like, wow, Daniel, this must be your life's work over here. So what does he do? He almost kills Margaret. Like, seriously though, you cannot convince me that this wasn't an assassination attempt. Thank God his mom was there at that very moment, or else the next episode would have been titled Daniel's Murder Trial. Now, Daniel hates Margaret. Like, he cannot stand her for simply existing. Like, this isn't even the only instance of Daniel being violent towards her in the show. In another episode, he literally grabs Margaret along his island thing, causing Margaret to cry, and despite Margaret showing obvious signals of distress beforehand, Daniel just didn't care. And let's not forget that Daniel literally dropped Margaret onto the floor. That's it, bro. I've seen enough. Lock him up and throw away the key. The spare key, the spare key, and the spare key. He can't even stand it when Margaret gets an ounce of attention either. On Margaret's birthday, Daniel was disappointed that the party was yellow-themed and not red-themed, as if it's his birthday. Not everything is about you 24/7, you narcissist. And then when Daniel's friends arrive and rightfully say happy birthday to Margaret, he is just shocked and appalled that he isn't getting the attention at that very moment.
I wish I got a shiny present.
Well, it's not your birthday, Daniel. Ever thought of that? Like, dude, you are not the main character. Well, actually you are, but like, heck, even when Margaret has friends over, which, let's be real, even Margaret has a better social life than Daniel in terms of friends that actually like her, he's all like, what about me? I guess there's no new friend for me. Daniel, you have like 7 friends. Let Margaret have this moment. Plus, why do you even need to be friends with infants anyways? And Daniel tries way too hard to make new friends. When teacher Harriet brought her autistic nephew Max to the school, Daniel immediately starts bothering him, and despite Max obviously not being interested in Daniel's antics, Daniel just keeps talking to him and refuses to leave Max alone. Another instance of Daniel trying way too hard is when Chrissy came over to his house. And what do you know? He's mad that Margaret is getting more attention than him. Fork found in kitchen moments. And Daniel can't wait for 1 second for him and Chrissy to start their playing. And look at this wave signal Daniel does. Like, not everything is about you.
Look, Daniel! Margaret likes it! Here comes your panda! Whoosh! Whoosh!
Chrissy is my friend, but she's just playing with Margaret.
Seriously, Daniel, what is your deal with Margaret? What did she even do to you? Exist? Is that it? Exist? Is her mere presence on planet Earth just too much for your small, teeny tiny, whiny brain to handle? And even when Margaret is sick, he can't show basic empathy. He has to make it all about, what about our plans? Margaret is sick. She is unwell. That is what matters, not you. Deal with it.
Look! Margaret made me a thank you note. Thank you, Margaret.
Now, you may think that this means that Daniel is a changed tiger now, but just you wait. Next episode, it's right back to trying to nuke Margaret. Daniel, in general, is just way too violent, and the only person he hates just as much as Margaret? Miss Elaina. Daniel, really wanting to sit next to Chrissy, tries to push Miss Elaina out of her seat to sit next to Chrissy. When that doesn't work, Daniel tries to push Miss Elaina off the seat and onto the ground. Depending on how violent Daniel could have been here, Miss Elaina could have been hospitalized. But luckily, Teacher Harriet comes in just in time before Daniel could attempt murder again. But I swear, one of these days... Luckily, Miss Elaina gets her payback. In one episode, she intentionally beeps very loudly at Daniel, just for Daniel to do the exact same thing later on, despite the fact that he was complaining about that when Miss Elaina did it, like the massive hypocrite that he is to poor O anyway. Daniel's mom tries to explain to Daniel that the hammering is too loud for O. Daniel then proceeds to say what might be the worst possible response here. But it doesn't hurt my ears. Well, guess what, Daniel? The world doesn't revolve around your psychopathic, narcissistic, dirt-for-brain self. Daniel's mom asks Daniel to think of a time where something was too loud for him. And guess what Daniel cites? Take a wild guess. If you guessed when Miss Elaina was being too loud, you are 100% correct, because of course Daniel would cite her. And it's not just Daniel who hates Miss Elaina for no reason either. Daniel's partner in atrocities, Katerina Kitty Cat, also has a bone to pick with Miss Elaina all the time. Miss Elaina, despite picking the triangle fair and square, has to deal with the full of herself Katerina, who lets out all of these roars trying to assert her non-existent dominance, and declared that she should have the triangle just because she said so. And honestly, given how terrible Katerina is too, I might need to make a video all about her as well. And how could I forget the scene that got this entire Daniel Tiger hate train rolling along in the first place? The ever so infamous egg salad sandwich scene. Miss Elaina, noticing a smell that she is not fond of, asks Daniel what the smell is. Daniel tells her that's his egg salad sandwich. Miss Elaina simply says that she doesn't like egg salad in a polite, respectful manner, yet for some reason Teacher Harriet makes her apologize for that.
We like different things, and that's just fine, but remember to be kind.
When was she not being kind? All she said was that she doesn't like egg salad, and we got Daniel over here looking at us like, how will you feel if your friend said they didn't like your lunch? And like, I wouldn't care one bit, they can suck it. Alright, so now that we're at the end of the video, is Daniel Tiger actually evil? Well, if you want the joke answer, yes, Daniel is definitely evil. By all means, we need to publicly execute him. But if you want the actual answer, well, obviously not, he's a 4-year-old. And as much as I've been participating in the Daniel Tiger hatred the last couple months, I think it might be time to pack it up and recognize the fact that it blew a tiny bit out of proportion. At the end of the day, this is a kids show made with the intention of helping kids control their emotions. And according to a study, a lot of teenagers use the techniques they learned from the show in their day-to-day life, and credit Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood for helping them control their emotions. And that's the power of PBS. A lot of their shows can help you develop and grow as a person. A lot of us are stronger and better people thanks to the morals we've learned from these shows. I know I am. Thanks for watching.